Hello everyone, Specter here and welcome to Star Citizen. Today is the 2955th Invictus launch week, day 1. So today suppose they will show you the ages as well as the Greycat Industries ground vehicles as well as ships. But it turns out they show you every ship set from different manufacturers, which is a very good thing because this hall, the showroom is very large. Of course, if you only have like 2 ships manufacturer or vehicle manufacturer, then it will be very empty in here. So it means that today you will see a lot of new ships, which CIG really want to release them for the funding, I believe. So yeah, before further ado, let's get to it first. Alright, so first thing first, you can see this one is the Guardian, Mirai Guardian series of ship, which is the MX, a new ship variant of the Guardian series. So comparing to the normal Guardian, you got 4 size 4 hard points in here for mounting weapons, while the normal Guardian only have like 2 size 5 weapon mount points. And also you will have tons of missiles in your disposal comparing to the normal Guardian series. So for this ship, just like the Guardian, you can have 2 points to access to it. One is via that elevator and one is from here. And you can access the ball turret in here. I mean the cockpit in here. So maybe in the future you will be doubled as a kind of escape pod as well. Not so sure whether CIG will implement it to this ship. And just like the Fury series, the Fury MX, you can deploy armor like this. So you will have more protection, and normally if you power it up, you can see through these panels. But well, just a reminder, since armor will be something matters in the future of Star Citizen. So basically, if you have more armor, it means that your ship will be heavier. So it means that the MX probably will be a little bit heavier compared to the normal Guardian series, and it will make it a little bit more like chunky, like less maneuverable comparing to the normal Guardian series. Normally you can press the button and you can access exit the ship via the front, but well, because we need to take a look at the interior of the ship, so yeah, I will exit from the rear. So over here we'll have a lot of components in here, the ship's components, and this one here is supposed to let you to have a suit locker as well as some weapon in here, like a FPS weapon. So you can put it in here. Grab this before you exit the ship. So this is the way to retrieve the elevator. And you can go down from here like this. So currently this ship is, the price point is unknown because, well, today is day 1 of the Invictus launch week. So this ship is not available on the website for some reasons. Probably because today is not Mirai as the manufacturer of the day. So that's why you can't see their ships on the website right now. Alright, so on the right hand side of the showroom you can see this is the first ground vehicle from Greycat Industry implement vehicle mount weapons on board, which is the Greycat MTC. So this is, personally, I think that this vehicle is a combination between like Ursa Rover as well as the Drake Mule. And later on you will know why. And look at the design, it's really cool as a ground vehicle. And at the back of it, you can see actually, well, can't really access to it for some reasons. Oh, there you go. So you have a rack in here, and you can put like 4 1/8 SU boxes in here. So it means that like helmet and like armor you can put in here. You can put 4 of them. While Drake Mule, you can put 6 of them at the side rack. So these 2 things will be put inside first when you retrieve it, and then you will load upstairs, while these 2 at the side will be like putting into this location in here, which is a very cool design and it's a compact design as well. So this is the feature that looks like the Drake Mule, in my opinion. And now this is the only way for you to enter the ship or a ground vehicle. So basically it looks like Ursa Rover, and you have two seats in here, a driver as well as like a passenger seat or remote turret gunner seat. You have two suit locker, which is not available for using right now, but in the future probably will be useful. While you have tons of gun racks, which is a very good thing because right now CIG implement a lot of gameplays that NPC will be hanging out outside of the location, while those locations will be heavily like guarded by turrets. So ships probably will have a hard time to get close to, while ground vehicles will have an easier time. So having these kind of vehicles around, then you may have a wonderful time to do those missions. So this jump seat, basically you can enter the remote turret for your driver, while that driver probably will have a better time to navigate around the terrain while you will be doing the shooting job in here. So let's see, suppose like this. Then you can access to the remote turret like this as the gunner. I believe that this turret house like size, I don't know whether it's size 1 or size 2. Probably is a size 1 or maybe size 2, I don't know. But probably it's size 1 because like it's a ground vehicles only and it's not a big one as well. And this one is the driver's seat. So basically, if you don't have a passenger seat, passengers in here to control the remote turret for you, the driver will have control of the remote turret. So when you're looking around, just like the Ursa Rover, then you can aim your turret around with like a crosshair in the middle. And if you deploy, then probably would be like this here. If I look around, then your turret would be like this thing here. Okay, so basically it's a very cool design. And you have shields as well, which is very nice. But just a reminder, since CIG is not very good at designing anything related to ground vehicle, including how they like travel around terrains. So right now, those ground vehicles sometimes will be bouncing in your inside of the ship, while like if you're traveling very fast outdoor, like on the ground, then you may hit some invisible obstacles that's causing your ground vehicle like flipped around or even like got damaged because of that. So just bear in mind. But well, if you're aiming for anything for CCU to chain up to something else with an LTI token, then well, basically maybe this is your choice for you. So this vehicle with a warbond price of $45, which is quite expensive. So I would suggest you to try it around first before you literally spend your real cash on it. So maybe 3 months later, you will see this be available for purchase in the game, and probably will be cheap as well. So at that time you can try it out, or for now you can rent it around and you can test it like on the field. Then you will see whether you want this vehicle or not. In the middle of the showroom, you can see this is a Starlancer Tac, which is the combat variant of the Starlancer Max. So compared to the Max, the Tac got a little bit different things that the Max doesn't have. So first of all would be this manned turret with 2 size 5 weapons on board. So as you can see, the person inside of it, and these are the size 5 weapons. And in here you will see there's like a troop compartment in here, can house 8 troops inside. So in reality it looks like the Mi-24 helicopter. And at the back of the ship you will see something similar to the Max, except The Max doesn't come up with these two missiles. I think that these are remote turret in here. I'm not so sure why they put missiles at the remote turret, but anyway, it may just try to distract hostiles while you are retreating, so they cannot engage you while like too busy to engage these kind of missiles. Probably that's a concept. And the right hand side of the ship basically is as same as the left hand side, except you will have the elevator over there. Now let's take a look at inside of the ship. At the back of the ship, just like the Max, basically you will house 96 SU of cargo in here. So you can put like two 32 size SU size containers in here, while the remaining 32 SU will be like only 1 or 2 or even 4 SU boxes in here on top of those 32 SU size containers. And you can see in here you will have some elevators to reach upstairs. Comparing to the Max, you will see you'll have some beds in here and some jump seats in here. So basically, if you talk about the Max, then this compartment would be the cargo compartment for like 432 SU worth of containers, like cargo capacity. But now it converted into medical bay, as well as like these kind of jump seat troop compartment and these two turret area. So for these troop compartment, if you close it, you can still have windows, which is fulfilling the concept of Starlancer, which they try to put more windows to make the players to feel like you're not being trapped on board of a ship. And you need to press these handles in order to deploy it, open it, and also you'll have these kind of Gatling guns mounted at the side door here. So even though they didn't show you how much ammo you have, but I believe that is 1000 around. So yeah. But the firing arc probably need to be improved a little bit because, well, you know, it's just kind of shooting your own ship right now. Okay, so you will have two of these kind of size 5 turret in here, and these are I believe that they designed as a kind of like cannon shells in here, cannon rounds in here, as well as these kind of like belts to feed the ammo to the turret. But these are not functional, so basically it just, the look of it looks cool, but like it's totally waste of space in here, I believe. And now we're entering the manned turret. From the manned turret, basically if you can power it up, then you will, you can protect the side of the ship or engaging ground targets, but you can't flip your manned turret all the way to the front to engage anything directly at the front of the ship. So basically this turret have limited firing arc. So this is how it looks like when you closed it. So I was like this when I was in the turret. So let's move on to the front. And this compartment, just like the airlock of the Max, the Starlancer Max, but comparing to the Starlancer Max, basically this compartment, the armory, the place for you to store armor, basically will be different from the Max because you have more crew members. So basically you will need to put more armor in here or undersuit in here for your crew. And you will have two ways to enter the upper deck from here. So one is via that elevator, and one is going to be via this ladder. So over here at the back of the ship, you will have a smaller kitchen and dining area comparing to the Max. But you have more gun racks in here, as well as these kind of beds in here for you to lock out. And the whole feeling is like more compact comparing to the Max, which is normal. And right now, for some reasons, this is locked, but I believe that probably this is a toilet. So, at the back of this area, normally it's supposed to be like a very luxurious double bed of, you know, the Starlancer Max, but now it converted into the Fury hangar in here. So you can fit like a Fury in here. Very sized snuff fighter in here. Not even the Merlin can fit in here, I believe, because it's too tiny. So you really need to put something small in here, just like maybe you can put some Argo cargo in here or Argo personnel in here. You can still fit in here, but if you talk about like Merlin or Archimedes, then it's not going to fit because they are too long, even though they are all snuff fighters. So yeah, it's too small for like to fit other kind of, you know, ships in here. So outside of it, just like the Max, you will have the engineering room in here. So let's move on to the bridge. So basically, comparing to, oh wait a minute, this is a toilet, I believe. Yeah, this is a toilet. But not so sure that one, what happened to that. But, or maybe both of them are toilet and washroom. But comparing to the Max, I think that the Tac is like using more space reasonably. I mean, more reasonable comparing to the Max, because like the Max got a lot of features that is not very useful. For example, like those double beds in those like crew compartment, it's not going to be ideal. All right, so it's waste of space for some reasons. So that's why I won't say I don't like it, but just simply think that it's waste of some of the space that you can do a little bit more things on board of the Max instead. Okay, so this is a bridge, and you can see these kind of things are the escape pods, just like the Max, and the bridge itself just like the Max as well. Alright then, so, oh, by the way, this one is a remote turret in here. Then you can access to the size 4 remote turret that is on top of the ship. Like this. Never mind. Yep, so it's just like this. This is the front one, and the other side would be the back one. And both of these turrets can protect the upper side of the ship, as well as this turret can engage everything that's in front of the ship as well, to increase your firepower from the pilot. And this is a pilot seat. And the pilot seat can control 4 size 4 weapons at the cheek of the bridge here. But basically, as yeah, so okay, so as a cargo ship, I mean cargo variant ships in here. So although it's the combat ship after all, but still it's converted from the cargo ship. So the viewpoint in here is not very good. So but anyway, you're supposed to have a lot of people to help you out in combat anyways, like a lot of turrets around your ship. So basically you should have a relatively easy time to like fight your way out. And on the far right side of the showroom, you can see this is a Super Hornet, so it's a double seat variant of the Hornet Mark II. So this Super Hornet Mark II has like 2 size 4 weapons in here, while these are size 3 weapons, which is very powerful. And your co-pilot can control the remote turret on top of it, so it can separate from the pilot control. But if the pilot flying the ship alone, then you can control all the weapons, which is very nice. But for now, it's not purchasable in the game still. But maybe in the future, you can purchase these ships like in the game with in-game credits. And on the far right side of the showroom, you actually can see this is the new Anvil Asgard. So basically, yes, you may say that this is a Valkyrie, but it is not, it's Asgard. So Asgard is a bigger version of the Valkyrie, and you can house ground vehicles such as like tanks inside. Comparing to the Valkyrie, can fit some sort of smaller vehicles like maybe Ursa Rover, okay? But Asgard can fit tanks inside. So basically, in my opinion, I think CIG really, I mean, why they need to do that? I mean, you just enlarge the whole Valkyrie to fit ground vehicle inside. Basically, it's just like that. And put more guns inside. Make it like a little bit larger, like this. So, it's not really necessary. But, well, it is what it is right now, you can see. So, this is a ramp, and this is the only way for you to enter the ship, I believe. You can see this is a very large hangar. It looks like a hall in here already. You can put tanks inside in here. So no matter talk about a Storm or even like a Nova tank, you can put inside. But basically the layout would be very similar to the Valkyrie. And again, just like a Valkyrie, you have a side door like this. And you can control this kind of Gatling gun with 1000 ammo on it. Alright, and you have some lockers in here, I believe. Do you have it? I'm not so sure. Oh, you don't have it. Never mind. So it means that it's a little bit unlike... never mind. So a little bit unlike the Valkyrie then. Alright, so over here, instead of those jump seats in here, you'll have like 2 seats for your crew. Probably will be the weapon operators. Or at least the assistance that for you to, you know, when you're loading up vehicles, then it may be helpful. So this is the turret that's facing downward to protect the lower part of your ship or clear up the way when before you land, just like a Valkyrie. And I believe that these are like size 4 weapons instead of size 3s or size 2s. I forgot. Yeah, I believe that is size 4s in here. And size 3 would be like the Valkyrie. So basically 2 parts of it is the same. And when you need to travel all the way up to the bridge, which is very odd, I was being cut into half by that door. Alright, so the only thing I will think is very good for this ship compared to the Valkyrie is you don't have these kind of bars in here, so it won't be blocking your way if you are rushing your way out. So when things go sideways, and you don't need to worry about, you know, getting downstairs, but instead you just need to jump off from here will be fine. And comparing to the Valkyrie is a very good improvement, because for the Valkyrie, like, for now, maybe still good, but in the future, probably is a very bad thing. Valkyrie doesn't have these kind of doors between, you know, the living quarter and the open space in here. So it means that the Valkyrie in the future, when you are in the open space, and you open up those gates in here, I mean the ramp or whatever, then it means that it will vacuum out all the air, and your crew member who's supposed to sleep like on the bed in here will be dead. It will suffocate, alright? Unless they have a helmet when they are sleeping, which is very odd. But anyway, Asgard kind of like make it a little bit more reasonable. So it means that in the future, if your crew member are sleeping in here, you can feel free to open all the gates in here, all the doors in here. It doesn't matter, alright? And your crew member will be safe because it won't be vacuum out all the air. And yep, this ladder I really hate it because once you get close to it, then it will be like magnetize your character. And this is like the toilet of the ship, so for your longer journey, which is very ideal. And over here probably is some sort of suit locker in here and weapon racks in here. So it means that no more remote turret control over there or remote gunners in here. And this is the pilot seat. So comparing to the Valkyrie, I think this is a little bit wider and bigger, obviously. But the design is the same, basically, yeah. And yeah, not so sure why CIG need to do that. Probably they really eager to make more money by letting people think they make a new ship. Alright. Oh no, actually, I retrieved what I just said. This is a glass, my god. Alright, never mind, I was thinking too much. This is a glass, so it means that it will still protect you from the vacuum of space, and the door itself will be like blocking the air going outside in space if you open up the ramps. But yeah, still having some sort of issues. If you are escaping, then well, lucky for you, you will be dead, I think, because you still need to handle these ladders unless you're doing what I just did, like going backward, then you can drop off very soon. Yup, my bad, I don't know, alright? So this is my first time to enter this ship anyway. Alright, so let's move on to the other ships. Alright, so from now on, basically all the new ships I already go through, and the following ships probably showed up many times in Invictus as well as IAE. So I'm not going to go through every ships like going inside of the ship, but instead I just briefly talk about this. Alright, so let's move on first, and you can see this one is an Anvil Aerospace C8R Pisces, which is a rescue Pisces. So it's an ambulance, which is the first ambulance ship ever appeared in the game. So from here you can see this one is a medical bed. So when you lie down like this, then you can treat your injury. Okay, just like this, okay? But right now you can set it as a spawn point as well, so that's why people really like it for like bounty missions, or I mean not bounty missions but mercenary missions or bunker missions or whatever involving ground missions, like ground FPS, because you can spawn on board of a ship right away after you know, kind of like being killed in the field, I mean on the field. So basically, this is a very good ship, as well as like this is a very tiny ship anyway. So that's why people really like to fly this ship around, and it's relatively cheap as well. Now, you're supposed to have a lot of drinks as well as food in here to retrieve. Every time you spawn the ship, you'll have these kind of stuff inside of this locker, which is very nice. But now it's being taken by someone, which is me, so you don't need to care about that. And you have an extra seat in here for assistant for medical care if you have a patient in here. And you can set spawn point in here as well if you want it. And you have a pilot seat in here that controls two size 1 laser repeaters. So yeah, people really like to use this ship to like go to the bunkers or whatever because it's too tiny. So it means that you will have an easier time to get close to the bunker. You don't need to walk that far, which is very nice. Oh, by the way, you have 2 missiles as well, which I forgot to tell you. This is a size 1. I think that is an infrared missile. But yeah, so if you talk about firepower, comparing to the C8 Pisces, then you will lack of like some firepower as well, because the C8 itself you have 4 size 1 weapons, while this C8R you have only 2 size 1 missiles as well as 2 size 1 guns in here. In the middle of the showroom, you can see this is a Mantis, RSI Mantis, which is an interdiction ship. I believe that is the first one, or maybe the second one, I don't know. But, well, basically, this ship is... the only function of the ship is to, pulling someone out of quantum travel. So, basically... that's it, okay? So this ship is not very good for fighting after all, because you only have like 2 size 3 weapons on board. And this ship is relatively, you know, fragile comparing to other sturdy ships. So if you really want to interdict any kind of players or NPCs, then you'll better use another ship from Drake, which is like the colors blue, to do so. And yeah, so basically, I don't know, like this ship, if you really want to fly it and you want to do something with it, you probably need to find someone with you to fly another ship to assist you. Right next to the Mantis, you can see the Argo Tractor in here. So it's a ship with tractor beam that can hold up to 16 SU worth of cargo containers in here. Via here, I mean, we will climb into here and transport it around. But this ship without quantum drive, so it means that you can only use it like around the stations and whatever. In the future of Star Citizen, especially like when whole seas magic is not going to work in stations, then you will see a lot of these kind of tractors hanging around, like buzzing around those whole series of ships to help them to load and offload their cargo, which is quite useful. Don't underestimate these kind of tiny ships, okay? Although they cannot do combat, but, well, definitely would be much more useful than you thought. But right now it's not that useful anyway, because you don't have a quantum drive, so that's why you will stuck in the location if you only have this ship. And now at the back of the showroom, you can see this is a Terrapin Medic, which is a relatively new ship, starting from last IAE. So basically it's an armored ambulance, just like the C8R, but more armor on board. And it's a very sturdy ship as well. I actually fly this ship for quite some while already. Although my CCU chain is not really up to this ship yet, but still, this is a relatively good ship. Although you don't have cargo grid in here, and all you have would be like these kind of lockers, which is not ideal if you have like guns or whatever. Then you have nowhere to put, but instead you need to put it right here. And yeah, because this ship is quite strong and sturdy, as I said. I went to, you know, Hathor mining site, and sometimes I was being targeted by players, you know, so they can, I mean, this ship can really like take the beating while I was trying to like power up my quantum drives to escape. Then this ship is like really good, and it can protect me from most of the time. Although sometimes if you're like tossing the whole entire like Polaris to my Terrapin in here, then obviously my Terrapin will not stand a chance, but most likely still it's okay. Okay, and also you can lie down just like the C8R then you can like regenerate and get back to the fight on the ground. So basically, this is just like the Terrapin itself, but still, it's a very good ship. It's compact and small, and also like very sturdy. Alright, so let's move on. Inside of another hall, you can see there's a Gladius in here. So this Gladius is actually a very nimble ship, which is very good for dogfighting. So a lot of players really like this ship, and also they will argue with those people who like Arrow more. But for me, I think that this is a better ship because if you talk about the details, this is one of the ships that's got more details on it. But while the Arrow doesn't have this. Alright, because this is the ship that the main character in Squadron 42 will control, so that's why you have a lot of detail comparing to, you know, the Arrow. So you can see the radar access to it here, so which is very, very nice. And you will have some storage in here, probably. This was an intake for some reasons. And as I show it to you, actually, this one here is a weapon rack in here. And there's a pilot inside already. And there's a ladder. And you'll have some storage places in here. Oh, sorry, those drives in here. Oh wow, you can actually buy it from here. Is it? Oh, -1. So is it like giving me the quantum drives by giving me one, I mean, Alpha AUEC? Not so sure how it works, but the math is right though. Okay, so you can open it, then you can access to the like interior of the ship to like, you know, repair it or stuff. So that's why I like this ship a little bit better comparing to the Arrow. But basically for me, if you talk about dogfighting and stuff, then these two ships are really nimble, so no doubts about it. Alright, so let's move on to here, and this one here will be the Scorpius, which is one of the heavy fighter that's implemented to the game quite some time already. People at some point they like the ship, but well, now in this patch they implement something new, which is this missile turret in here, the missile remote turret, to replace the turret over there in here. So basically, personally I think that is not ideal, because if you talk about like long engagement for a long time, then obviously you want to have more ammo capacity, right? But missiles is something that you can't do it. So basically, if you talk about like long patrol and something like that, it will be good for you to stick with, you know, these kind of laser repeaters instead of missiles. But of course, if you talk about like running a blockade and stuff, then maybe you have more missiles will be better, because well, you can just blast off every missiles so that like hostiles are going to be busy to dodge those missiles, while you can just simply focus on escaping. That would be better. But for now, I think that it's not a very wise choice for you to choose missiles over repeaters as your remote turret choice. Alright, so let's move on. And over here in the middle of the showroom, you can see this is a Mirai Guardian, which is like basically the base version of the Guardian series. Just like the Guardian MX, the outline is similar, but you have 2 size 5 weapons in here instead of like 4 size 4 at the at these edges in here. And you will have obviously some missiles in here, while the MX will have a hidden missile rack on top of it. So again, you can enter the ship via 2 places. One is from this elevator like this, or if you are like going to be urgent enough to enter the ship, then you can do it like this here. Alright, so something is not right. Maybe I did something wrong? Not so sure. Oh, someone is like sitting on it, no wonder. Alright, but anyway, just like the MX, you can enter the ship file here, or you can enter like at the back of it. The outline will be the same, so there's no differences, okay? Just weapons and like the outlook a little bit would be different, but basically the same. So let's move on to the other ship first. Okay, so you're looking at the F8C Lightning, which is one of the coolest heavy fighter that you can get in the game right now. So it's from Anvil Aerospace, and it's not right now. It's not purchasable in the game still, and obviously that's a reason for it, because it's too strong for some reasons. All right, and basically I've flown this ship a little bit, not that much, because I just borrowed someone's ship to fly around only, which is quite cool if you talk about firepower. But well, if you talk about nimble fighters and stuff, then you better kill them off like in one go, like when you're facing them, because if they ran past you, then probably you will have a harder time to engage them with this heavy fighter. But yeah, this ship is really good if you talk about like engaging something like from light to medium or even large ship. You will have no difficulties to do that. I will have difficulties, but not for most of the players probably. Alright, so let's move on to the other ship first here. And this one is the Arrow, which I talked about, the opponent of the Gladius, kind of. As you can see, it's quite sleek design in here, which is the reason why I would choose Gladius instead of Arrow, because, well, you don't have much more details in here, which I really like the details at some point, although I usually will just use like inventory, like enter the inventory file here. But if you have more, details, like more ship parts that you can like call it out, then I think that would be better, okay? But no doubt about it, this is a very good fighter as well, so don't underestimate it, okay? Right in the other hall in here, you can see a lot of ground vehicle from Tumblr here. So this one here probably will be the TR, is it? Yes, the TR Cyclone in here, which you will have this kind of turret with a Gatling gun on board, which is very cool. And obviously you will have around 1,000 rounds, as I said already. For most of these kind of Gatling guns, you'll have 1,000 rounds. So you can use it for anti-air or like dealing with like personnels. But just be reminded that you actually cannot be protected by the vehicle. So still you will be under fire, kind of, alright? But you just like talk about like exchanging fire, you got more bullets comparing to your opponent probably when you're just like dealing with foot infantry. So that's why. So when you're looking over here, this one will be the Storm, which is a relatively new tank, although it's not that new anymore, but still, it's a newer design compared to the Nova over here. So this is a variant set with laser repeaters in here, or laser cannons over there. I think it's a laser repeaters. So it's a one-seater only compared to the Nova tank, which is like you can fit multiple people inside. It's different. So you can enter the vehicle via here, but just be reminded if you have any kind of issues like if you're like not feeling well, if you like being trapped inside of, you know, tiny area, then this is not a good ship for you, because well, you can see this is a very tiny area unless you enter to, you know, remote turret mode in here. So you can see a lot of like smoke grenade launchers in here, but trust me, it's not going to work. It's just the look of it, not going to be functional. So yeah, basically you have a very narrow view in here, but it just feel like you're being protected by all the armors, just like that. Okay, so retract turret probably would be like this, yes, and if you move around, then yeah, it's just like this. But basically the same thing, all right. If you enter remote turret, then you have a better angle to look around. But still, if you're talking about driving around, you still be able to engage like this. The reason why it's not like this, not because you can't do it, it's just simply because you can't see anything. Alright, so yeah, remote turret will have an easier time for you to look around your vehicle, while this thing can shoot while you're driving. So if you really want to purchase this vehicle, I would suggest you to use it around first in the game, because this is purchasable in the game right now, so you don't need to like use real cash to test it. And right here is a Nova tank, which is the oldest tank in the game right now. It looks like a Israel Merkava, which you have a hatch at the back like this to enter the vehicle. Now you have a gunner seat in here, you have a passenger seat as well as a driver seat over here. So the driver can control the cannons, while I think that is a co-pilot, which is a passenger, can control, you know, the laser repeaters on board. And you have some components in here as well. And if you have a gunner seat in here, then it turns out the driver will lost control of the guns. So basically looks like this. And you have 60 rounds of size 5 cannon shells. Oh, sorry. And also you have some missiles as well, but those missiles are fixed in some sort of angles, which you will have a harder time to, you know, shoot everything. I mean anything. So yeah, if I were you, I won't really like using the missiles like this. Here you can see the missiles like this. Okay. So this is a gun that I talked about. The passenger can control. It's twin mounted laser repeaters, which is very good for clearing up infantry from the far. But if you talk about very close quarters like this, then I suggest you to ram your tank towards those foot infantry. Will be much more like easier, because it's no way for you to lower down your guns. Alright then. So this Nova tank actually have a new feature, which is the new Gatling gun mount in here. So you can swap that size 5 cannon, ballistic cannon, with this ballistic Gatling guns, so that, well, you can engage something that is smaller. I think that CIG implemented this one because some players actually, when they are doing an line and mine event, they use the Nova tank to engage foot infantry. They had a very hard time to engage them, as those, you know, size 5 ballistic cannons kind of bad when they're shooting at ground infantry. They are not going to, you know, they cannot eliminate those NPCs. So implement this kind of ballistic Gatling gun will be a little bit better, maybe, just maybe. All right. And at the side of it would be the Cyclone MT, I believe. Is it MT? Yes, it is. So the Cyclone MT will be the mixture of, you know, the AA as well as the TR, because you have like these kind of long sword ballistic cannons in here, while you have missiles to engage something that is far away, maybe like air targets as well, which is a very cool looking vehicle for, in my opinion. And in the middle is still an Asgard in here. Just a reminder, the Asgard got a lot of weapons that controlled by the pilot. You have 6 of these. I believe that these are size 3 maybe, or maybe size 4. I don't know, maybe size 3 to size 4. Laser repeaters that controlled by the pilot. And you have like size 5 in here for the main turret as well here. But what they are trying to show you is you actually can fit these kind of tanks and other ground vehicles on board of this Asgard, because it's really huge. And at the side of it will be the medical Ursa, which is a Ursa. So it's a Ursa Medivac, and this is like a ground vehicle that with med beds in here. But just bear in mind, I don't know whether they changed it or not in this patch, but for the previous patches, after I purchased this vehicle, I found that this ground is not very solid. So if you put any kind of boxes or even ship's components in here, it would go through to the ground. So just bear in mind, don't put any kind of boxes or ground components in here. But basically, it's a very good vehicle to use it, because like if you're in a driver's seat, just like what I said when I was talking about the MTC, the Greycat MTC, you can control the turret actually. So yep, the turret is now functional, okay? And when you're looking around, then basically you should be able to use this turret. And these are size 1 laser repeaters. But comparing to other vehicles, I think this is quite fragile at some point, especially the front wheel, because like when I traveling around in Pyro, and sometimes the roads are quite bumpy, and I drive very fast, and it turns out these wheels will come off. I'm not so sure, but like it's kind of fragile too, in my opinion. But in general speaking, this is a very good vehicle to travel around, especially for ground missions. And over here you can see a lot of like Ballista, Centurion, as well as the Spartan. Basically all 3 of them are based on the same chassis in here. So this is Spartan, which is the armored personnel vehicles in here to transport foot infantry. And in here is going to be your driver's seat in here that can control a twin mounted size 1 turret up there. And this one is a Ballista, which is the oldest comparing to the other 2. So basically this is a missile variant of anti-air vehicle. The hatch is this way here, and you'll have a gunner seat in here to control these kind of missiles. So it seems like you can't. Okay, that's good. Alright, so these are the missiles you can control. Basically, a long time ago, if you talk about anti-air, then this thing is really good, especially when you're playing Jump Town. And this thing is really sneaky. You can't really detect them until you're getting very close. But right now, I think that the situation would be better, would be a little bit more balanced, probably. But still, it will be a very dangerous opponent if you're against them. And this one is a Centurion, which is the gun turret version of the Ballista, which is a missile variant of it. And yep, you have like full size 5 or size 4, sorry, full size 4 laser repeaters in here. So basically, it's a Hammerhead turret firepower in here. Okay, so what you guys are looking at right now is the Harbinger, the Vanguard Harbinger, which is a fighter bomber variant of the Vanguard series. So comparing to the other Vanguard series ships, then you will have extra 3 size 5 torpedoes. Yep, you got a torpedo bay in here. And you can access to your turret via here. And the turret in for the Harbinger probably would be the rocket pods, which, well, if you really want to purchase this ship, then you better swap those weaponries out, because rocket pods in theory is not very good for combat, at least currently. And a long time ago, people really like to use Vanguards for like bounty missions and stuff. But, well, right now you have more options of other heavy fighters, for example, Scorpius, as well as like the Guardian series. Then you don't, I mean, people will be less likely to use this ship for bounty missions. But I think that the design of the ship is a little bit odd, because you will have a size 5 weapon in here, while you have like 4 nose mount, which is a very special mount for the Vanguard series only. So these 4 size 2 weapons are nose mount in here. So here comes a very good question. When you're engaging something from like far away, then obviously your size 5 will do a very good job, while your size 4s in here, I mean size 2s in here, will act poorly because the range is not enough. But if you're wait until engaging those targets in a very close range, then you kind of sacrifice the long range advantage of this size 5. So I don't know why it's a very good thing to put these two kind of weapons together, although you can like arrange those grouping of weapons, then you can fire only the size 5 when it's long range, while engaging target in a shorter range with the size 2s. But still, it's a little bit more complicated when you're like doing combat, right? So not so sure why people like design it in this way. Okay, so let's move on first. And in the middle of this showroom, you can see this one is a Hammerhead Corvette. A long time ago, people will consider this ship is an ultimate multi-crew ship in the game, which is true, because this ship is quite expensive when you talk about purchasing it, even for the older days. And it's quite rare for people to purchase this ship with in-game credits, because like you can't do anything if you don't have many people on board. So usually people will use this ship during, Ninetales lockdown event or maybe Xeno Threat event. Then it would be a nightmare for those NPCs, because this Hammerhead is kind of like really, really strong, with all 6 size 4 turret in here, and each turret in here will be having 4 size 4s in here. So 6 of these turrets, then you will make like, obviously you can't make them all fire at the same time, but still you create a lot of firepower, which sometimes you will be like using 5 of them to engage targets. So that makes around 20 size 4 guns to engage target, which is very, very strong and powerful. And you have elevators in here to enter the ship. But still, you are using the old way to call it out. And you have a docking collar over here. So once if you are like call out your Hammerhead, then in some space station, then you need to use docking collar to dock with the space station instead of having, you know, a hangar for your ship. And over here is going to be the Redeemer, although the Redeemer changed at some point, which, well, this manned turret from size 5 into size 4s only, which is very bad because they downgraded the ship. But at some point, still, this ship is quite unique, especially for these thrusters in here. And as I said already, if you lost one of these thrusters, then technically speaking, your ship is done, because you will keep on spinning until, you know, your character like blacked out. Alright, so over here you're supposed to have some food and drinks in here, which like this, and I store it like this. And no worries, this thing most likely I looted it already, so no worries about not getting these food. Okay, so you have some beds in here, as well as like a crew, the fighting compartments upstairs, as well as the engineering compartment. And you have some drop seats in here for your crew or like the ground troops. And this is the, you know, the engineering station. So you have a turret upstairs, and also you have a turret downstairs like this. And you have some remote control for the remote turret, which I suggest you not to, because like the pilot will lose some of turret control if you use it. And in here you can store like 2 SCU worth of cargo in here if you want it. So you can still like doing some ground missions with it, and store your loot in those crates. And finally, in the underground showroom, you can see an Ursa in here, as well as like the Cyclone AA, which is the anti-air variant of it. So this thing you can control by the driver directly to shoot out like 4 size, I believe that's size 2 or size 1, I forgot. So, oh yeah, 2 size, I think that those are size 2 missiles. Alright, so it's not much, but still it's something. So yeah, it's just simply a very light mobile anti-air platform. And this is the Ursa Rover, which is like prisoner favorite, as when they are escaping they will use it. So as same as the Ursa Medivac, so the medical Ursa. So the layout would be the same, but this interior you can actually sit on it here like this, or if you want it you can fit some cargo in here as well, I believe, which you need to put away the seats first before you do that. Okay, so that's it for today's video about the first day of Invictus launch week 2955. I hope you enjoy, and I shall see you guys next time then. Bye bye.